Let's have a little play around and see what's going on in the world of Claude, my all-time favorite LLM at the moment. And why is that? Because Claude is the best at understanding emotions, emotional resonance, and producing language that has very nuanced resonance from a marketing copywriting perspective. So I'm a marketer to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And therefore, for me, Claude really outshines the competitors when it comes to really see what I did there? Really nailing that language of our ideal clients. So Claude just came out yesterday with version 4 and some pretty impressive looking claims made on Anthropic's website here about how powerful it is. They're saying it is the most powerful model yet and the best coding model in the world. This is the Opus 4 model that they're claiming that on. And then there are some benchmarks here for software engineering where you can see it's just outperforming Sonnet 3.7, which you would expect, and then even outperforming all of the OpenAI and Gemini models right there. And then these are some interesting benchmarks around agentic coding. So again, you can see 72.5, 72.7 against 62.3 for the old model, and then OpenAI 69, GPT 4.1, 54.6, 63.2. So these look pretty impressive. And then my most important and most needed element of this really is in the deep understanding, because I view AI as a co-intelligence, as a thinking partner, as a tool to help us be better human beings and show up in service of others better. And so for me, the coding and all of that, yeah, that's great, but show me how it's going to help me run my business better. Because I don't code, I'm not a coder, I'm not creating code, it's great, it's all part of the journey of AI, but yeah, show me how it's going to improve my life, my business, and the lives of those people that I serve. That's what I'm most interested in. Coding's great and all of that, but that's not my area. What I am interested in is this. This is an article from Claude when they released 3.7 Sonnet that's showing the roadmap of where AI is going. And this is important because we're going from an era where AI assists to where AI collaborates. This bit's important because now AI is becoming more collaborative. This is the same of most of the LLMs, the large language models out there, not just Claude, in that they are able to do semi-independent work for us. Claude has something called artifacts where it can create documents, and it can just do so much in the beginning phases of what's dubbed the agentic era of AI, where the AI truly can become something that is useful as a collaborator. And what this new Claude 4 model does is it's a step forward in this collaboration, because by all accounts, it has a better memory, it stays on task much better, and it's better suited for agentic workflows, for places and spaces where we want accuracy to be paramount and we want it to sustain its focus and its concentration over long periods of time. So that really speaks to me, because that makes me think that I'm going to get better conversations, better outputs, and I'm going to be able to think better with Claude 4 now as my collaborator. And then of course, the vision by Anthropic is that Claude pioneers by 2027, it finds the breakthroughs and it challenges problems that would have taken teams years to achieve. So at the moment, we're looking at capacity increases with AI, but the idea is that we are going to exponentially grow that capacity increase as the AIs develop. So when we jump into Claude here, you can see the model down here is Claude Sonnet 4. If I press that drop down, you can see we can switch between Sonnet 4 and Opus 4. And then of course you've still got access to the old models here, but why would you want to use the old models? I don't know. You can jump between one and the other and just begin to explore. Opus 4 is their most powerful large language model for deep reasoning. Now, by default, I tend to just use the efficient model for everyday use for Sonnet. I used Sonnet 3.7 for the most part as a daily driver. Just as in ChatGPT, I use 4.0 as the regular model for the most part, unless I'm doing something complex. But most of my work is in understanding voice of customer, how our ideal clients think, feel, and developing my skills and my ability to serve my clients as a coach by understanding what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and what they're seeing and stuff like that. And so the regular model tends to be the most efficient for everyday use in that sense. If you click this button here, you'll notice that Claude has this thing called extended thinking. So this is where we want to deliberately trigger some more advanced reasoning capabilities. And I don't particularly use that too much unless I'm falling out of love with the outputs that are coming from Claude. Okay, so there we go. That's what it is in the lmarena.ai. This is where we keep track of which AI is topping the tables in terms of capabilities. Claude 4 is brand new, so it doesn't even exist on the arena tables yet. So this will come real soon. I'm keeping an eye on this to see when these benchmarks are updated, because my important benchmark is looking at how well these models perform from a language perspective, not so much in terms of API costs and coding and all of that good stuff. So I like to look at the language capabilities. And at the moment, Gemini 2.5 Pro is topping the table, but I'm guessing that will change once the new benchmarks have been done. So let's jump into Claude and let's have a little play with it. Let's see what it can do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my AI Mastery prompt vault that is a collection of 2,500 prompts expertly engineered for AI for all areas of entrepreneurship and business. This is included in our unlimited Inner Circle membership. And I'm going to jump in and I'm going to get the web analysis prompt. This, as a marketer, this is one of my favorites. It allows us to understand what our ideal clients want and desire, what emotions they're feeling, their beliefs, their identifications, what they want to gain, what they want to have less of, all of that cool marketing stuff. And I'm going to grab that here, copy that, and I'm going to drop that into here. And I'm going to just use Claude Sonnet 4 for this. I'm going to, because of custom instructions, I don't need to tell the AI who I am, what I do, and who I serve. If you've not got your custom instructions set up, you go into here and hit settings and then profile. What personal preferences should Claude consider in responses? So this is where you feed Claude all of your custom information. We have a system inside of Unlimited where we call it our power positioning statement. I am A, I help B to do C with D. And then our soul data, so personality, purpose, passion, and then our writing styles, what we want the AI to do, what we want the AI not to do, and how we want it to respond. That's where you go and set that if you haven't done so already. So here we go. I'm going to run this prompt now inside of Claude, and I want to just see what the outputs are like. The thing that's really important for an AI to do a good job of this is emotional understanding, emotional resonance. The reason I like Claude for these marketing tasks especially is because it's especially good at understanding emotions and understanding nuance around language. Okay, so it's giving us a nice web analysis here, going into a good deal of detail here. Emotions and feelings, complex emotional landscape around AI adoption. Excitement. Let's see if any of this rings true for you. Excitement mixed with trepidation. They recognize their potential but fear losing themselves in the process. They feel overwhelmed, that's a word I hear a lot by my clients, by the pace of technological change, and uncertain about which tools truly serve their mission. Carry guilt about using AI in ways that might feel inauthentic or manipulative. This is deep. This is a good deep level of understanding emotions here. I'm really liking Claude 4's outputs on this. Beautiful. Prospective actions. They want to gain mastery of AI tools that align with their values, get clarity about their unique approach, and gain confidence in their technology choices. That's really good. Save time for the most important work. These are some powerful insights. I'm really liking this. This is good. So then it's given us some subgroups, or in marketing, we call these segments. So these would be different segments that we may target: established entrepreneurs, growing entrepreneurs, emerging service providers, course creators, and educators. That's interesting. So when I run this previously, it didn't give anywhere near as much insightful detail. It just gave me a couple of groups of, I think, established entrepreneurs and startup entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. This feels much more detailed and contextual. So I'm really liking the output. I want to build on this because I am inspired here by what I'm seeing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to chain now the web analysis with an empathy map. So I'm going to grab my empathy map prompt from the vault here. This bit at the top, by the way, is just power positioning statement. I'm ignoring the power positioning statement because I've got those custom instructions set inside of Claude. So I don't need to give it the context of who I am and who I serve. It already knows roughly all of that stuff. Not roughly, it knows it in detail. So now I'm chaining this prompt on top of the other one to see how Claude deciphers what it sees, what insights it sees for my ideal clients around what they see, hear, say, think, feel, and do when it comes to AI marketing and my products and services. So you can do the same with this, right? And the idea is that as these models develop and they get more intelligent, more efficient, and more capable of understanding and providing deep insights into emotions, what does that do for us? It allows us to create language that truly resonates, that speaks to our ideal clients on an energetic level. It creates emotional resonance, and people buy through emotional resonance. They buy because of something called pathos, emotional connection. So in a purchase decision, we have pathos, which is emotional connection. We have ethos, which is credibility. Are you good enough to do what you say? And then we have logos, which is logic and reason. Will it work? Can I afford it? How long will it take? All of that rational stuff. The rational stuff comes after the emotional. So the better we are at creating language that resonates emotionally, the better we will be at converting people into clients for us through our language and through the way that we show up. So this gives us insights that allow us to talk about what we do much better, much sharper, and this then will lend itself to content, offers, all kinds of cool marketing information that we use throughout our entire ecosystem. So they're hearing, let's see what they're hearing from professional networks, inevitable, expressing private concerns about authenticity. This feels quite deep, quite not surface level. So when I ran this in ChatGPT and the previous version, it would be good, but not as deep. That's what I'm seeing from here. And I need to go through it in a lot of detail, which I don't have time for in this video, but it's looking good. So far, it's looking good. Information overload, overwhelm, tension between the desire to serve more people and the commitment to being authentic. Man, that is spot on. I'm going to be using that. That is phenomenal. This is so good. Pressure, greater weight of responsibility. This is good. This is insightful. I'm seeing really deep levels of insights from the AI here. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing so far. So there you can see we have quite an interesting, comprehensive insight into our ideal client's emotional tone, resonance, beliefs, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, seeing, hearing, saying, and doing. Pretty magical. And then we can leverage this to begin to create some resonant language and copy that would speak to those ideal clients. Claude 4 feels that next level powerful to me in my early testing. I am going to continue for many hours testing and playing into the wee small hours of tonight, just seeing how, what, where, and why I may leverage this technology. Encourage you to do the same. Share your insights with us in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you get more insightful videos like this that keep you ahead of the AI curve. And I'll see you in the next video.